In this video, we will show you how to replace your washer fluid tank on this Ford Fusion. This will be located under your hood. Let's get into it. Okay friend, let's get started on our job. The first thing we need to mention is we will have to make our way inside of the passenger side wheel well, so make sure you're in a safe area. Once you've done so, we'll be under the hood. You'll find that you have your washer fluid reservoir fill tube right here. We're going to dislodge this. You'll find it's held in place with an 8mm headed bolt. Let's remove that bolt. Now once you have that off of there, the next thing you want to do is take hold of this bracket and you can carefully remove it. Let's set this aside. At this point, we're going to have to start removing the forward fender liner on the passenger side. To do that, safely raise and support your vehicle so the wheel's off the ground. Continue on to removing all 5 of your 19mm lug nuts and then the wheel. With that out of the way, let's continue on to starting to remove our wheel well panel. This is going to be the area that goes underneath the front bumper cover. This will be held in place with several 7mm headed mounting bolts coming across here, and then also you'll have some push clips going up inside the wheel well. Making our way in the wheel well, we'll continue on with a trim tool or small prying device. This is where you're going to find several push tabs. To remove those, you want to remove the center to unlock them. Once it's unlocked, you should be able to remove the outer portion as well. A quick inspection will set it aside and continue on. If your push pins happen to come apart, just go ahead and slide them back together, leaving them in the unlocked position. At this point, we'll take hold of this and we'll give it a light tug rearward. Go ahead and tuck it up and behind the brakes, being careful not to cause any damage. Let's continue on over at the horns. We'll disconnect the electrical connector. It has one locking tab where my thumb is. Go ahead and squeeze that in, give it a tug, and separate it. With it separated, we'll give it a quick inspection for corrosion and we can set that wiring aside. We'll continue on by removing the entire horn assembly area. You can do that by removing this 13mm headed mounting bolt. Take hold of that assembly. Remove your mounting bolt. Now the next thing we're going to do is continue on to removing our washer fluid hose, but before you do, it's important to note, if you have washer fluid inside of the washer fluid tank, it will come out of the pump area. Typically, it is a good idea to have some sort of cover. Otherwise, you could just go ahead and carefully drain this into a collection receptacle, and if it's nice and clean, you can reuse it. I have a little cover here. We'll just pop this out of place. Plug the hole. Double check to make sure the hose isn't torn, worn, or damaged, and we'll set that aside. The next thing we'll do in that very same area is disconnect our electrical connector. For this, there's a locking tab right where my thumb is. Squeeze that in and lift this up and out of place. A quick check for corrosion. We can set that wiring aside. Now, as far as the rest of the wiring harness, we're going to have to dislodge it from the washer fluid tank. You'll find that there's wiring harnesses held in place. You can use a trim tool or a small prying device. Go ahead and pop these right out. There's one. There's the second one. Now we can follow this electrical harness over this way. We'll dislodge it up in this area. Tuck that wiring harness aside. Once all of the wiring is dislodged, we're going to continue on to our 3 mounting points that hold the washer fluid reservoir to the body of the vehicle. You'll find that you have 2 out in the open, and the forward one will be up in front of the washer fluid tank. That one's harder to see. Either way, we're going to be using a 10 millimeter for all 3 of these mounting points. I'm going to start in the front because that's the hardest one to gain access to. Let's remove this final mounting bolt. Now we can take hold of this and carefully remove it from the vehicle. Keep in mind you do still have the tube which leads up into the engine compartment. We'll just carefully bring this down. All right, let's get ready to install our brand new washer fluid tank. Now when we go to install this, we're going to be taking that filler neck and we'll slide it in place along top of the washer fluid tank. Go ahead and slide it right on there. Press it in as far as possible so it makes a good seal. All right, let's get ready for the installation of our washer fluid tank. We'll make sure that we put this in the proper placement. The hardest part's going to be getting that filler neck up and into the engine compartment. We'll just carefully press it up there. Continue on by putting it in the proper placement, sliding it over the stud that should be coming out of the body of your vehicle. Ours is broken. Once you've done that, we'll continue on with aligning the rest of our mounting bolt holes. Tighten your lower nut. Take hold of the washer fluid tank, give it a wiggle to make sure it's completely secured. The next thing we're going to do is resecure our wiring harnesses across the top here. This one should press down and in. Continue across. We'll continue on to our washer fluid hose and electrical connector. Go ahead and slide that right on there. Double check to make sure it's secure so it does not fall off when you attempt to use this. Let's get this connected in. Press it in, listen for a click, give it a tug. All right, let's get ready to install our horn assembly. When we bring this into place, we want to be paying attention to our locating hook and our mounting port hole. We'll align this area. Careful for any wiring. Get it in position, start in your mounting bolt, and snug it up. Just double check to make sure the horns aren't resting up against your washer fluid tank. If they are, you can gently bend them away. We'll continue on with that electrical harness. Go ahead and line that up and plug it in. Listen for a click, give it a tug to make sure it's completely secure. All right, let's take that fender liner and we'll put it in position. Aligning all of our push pin holes, we can continue on by inserting those push pins. When doing so, you push in the outer portion first and then lock it in by pressing in the center. All right, once all those are in, let's continue on underneath the front bumper cover. Now under this area, you want to make sure that you have the fender liner up above the bumper cover. We'll pay attention over here as well. Once again, we're going up and above the skid shield. Once you have it in the proper placement, continue on by putting in all of your mounting bolts. Let's reinstall our wheel. Start on all 5 of your 19mm lug nuts. We'll bottom them out. Get the wheel safely back down on the ground, and then we can torque each of these to 100 foot-pounds. With the wheel safely back down on the ground, let's torque these in a crisscross manner. Up inside the engine compartment, we'll continue on by taking hold of our brand new bracket, slide that into place over the washer fluid neck. Now we can take this and we'll bring it down into the proper position, aligning our 8mm headed bolt mounting hole. Start that bolt in there by hand and then go ahead and snug it right up. Now we can put on the cover. We're going to twist this counterclockwise so that the end goes underneath this small ear. Continue on by filling it with the proper washer fluid. Once you have it full, go ahead and reinstall that cover. Okay friend, we showed you how to install the washer fluid tank on your vehicle. At this point, hop inside the passenger compartment and test the washer pump functionality. Aside from that, thanks for watching.
When only the best will do, demand TRQ. The only company that lets you view before you do. TRQ is committed to offering the highest quality aftermarket auto parts that are engineered for peace of mind. Thanks for using and viewing with TRQ.